Deep in the heart of Texas, where the land stretched wide and empty under a scorching sun, there was a road locals refused to take after dark. It was an old dirt path outside a small town, a place where cattle once roamed, and cowboys told stories of things best left undisturbed. Daniel Cortez had heard the stories his whole life, tales of El Diablo and El Cruz, the devil at the crossroads. Folks said if you drove down that road at midnight, you'd see a man in a black Stetson standing in the dust, waiting. If you stopped, he'd offer you anything your heart desired, for a price. Daniel didn't believe in old legends. He was a modern man, a rancher trying to keep his father's land afloat in a world that didn't care much for small-time cowboys anymore. With debts piling up and no way out, he drove down that cursed road one sweltering night, whiskey burning in his gut and desperation clawing at his soul. The desert was quiet, the cicadas long gone. A warm wind blew dust across the cracked earth as his truck rumbled toward the crossroads. His headlights cut through the darkness, and then he saw him. A tall man stood in the road, boots planted firm, a long coat billowing even though the night was still. His face was hidden beneath the shadow of his wide-brimmed hat, but when he lifted his head, Daniel swore his eyes glowed red. "You came looking for me," the man said, his voice smooth as aged tequila. Daniel swallowed hard. "Just stories," the man chuckled, stepping closer. His spurs didn't jingle. "Everything's a story till it happens to you." Daniel should have driven away, but he didn't. He thought of his father's land, his family's legacy slipping through his fingers. "They say you can help a man." "I can." The stranger grinned, showing teeth too white, too sharp. "Money? Power? Love? Name your price, vaquero." Daniel hesitated. "I want my ranch back. No more debt, no more struggling." The man nodded. "Simple. Shake my hand, and it's yours." Daniel looked down at the outstretched hand. The skin was rough, burned like it had been left in the Texas sun too long. He thought of the stories, the warnings from abuelas, the whispers in town. Deals with the devil never ended well, but he was desperate. He shook the man's hand. The second their palms met, fire ripped through Daniel's veins. He fell to his knees, gasping, as laughter filled the night. When he looked up, the man in the hat was gone. The next morning, Daniel woke in his bed, heart pounding. He ran outside, and there it was. His ranch paid in full, his livestock fat and thriving. His prayers had been answered. But then he saw them, the shadows, figures standing along the fences, faceless men in black Stetsons watching, waiting. And at night, he heard the voice again, whispering from the wind. "A deal's a deal, vaquero." And Daniel knew, the devil always collects.